Welcome to The Planet, the podcast for L-Word fans. This is our special edition of The Chart. I'm Elka.
And I'm Casey.
This week, my cat will meow during the podcast. This week, we have an expanded version of The Chart because we got so much listener feedback that was worth talking about.
From now on, we're going to be doing The Chart as a separate episode in order to try to get the regular episode up a little bit earlier.
And not only that, but we get so many good comments from our listeners that I want to play them all. We told you on the last podcast that we had a big announcement to make. And no, splitting off The Chart into a separate podcast isn't it. Our big planet announcement.
It's not that exciting. I hope no one was excited.
No, I'm sure no one gave a shit. But it's big to us. Okay. The Planet podcast has become so unexpectedly popular that we've had to switch our feed in order to accommodate all the people, all the listeners, to use up that much bandwidth. We have made it extremely easy for you to switch the feed.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But you've got to switch to our new feed to continue listening to our show. So what you do, if you are an iTunes subscriber, you just go to your iTunes music store, click on podcasts, search L-Word, and you'll see The Planet, the podcast for L-Word fans.
The old one, because it'll have the old logo.
The old one and the new one. So the old one has a gray logo with a pink L. You need to unsubscribe from that and subscribe to the new Planet, which has the same title, but the logo is a picture of the Earth with a pink L on it.
Right.
Very easy to do.
And if you don't switch, then you're screwed because we're not going to be publishing any new shows on our old feed. So you need to switch to get the next episode.
Yeah, I'm sorry to make things complicated for you. I hope it's not too much of a pain in the ass. But it's just for us to be able to have enough bandwidth for all our listeners to actually be able to hear the show and us not to go broke doing it. We had to switch feeds. If you listen at our blog spot, you don't have to do anything differently. We'll still post the show on the blog spot and you can still listen to it there. The only difference is that now when you click to listen to it, you get a white screen for a few seconds while it's loading. So just wait, be patient, and it'll play. If you are using an aggregator or a faggregator, make sure that you link to our new feed. If you go to our homepage, theplanetcast.blogspot.com, on the links, there's a link that says subscribe to our new feed. Click on that and you're golden. Oh, and one more thing. If you are one of those kind people who left us a good review on iTunes Music Store, it would be really awesome if you could leave us a review on our new podcast. And that's not only for our vanity, but also because it makes our show easier to find for other fans.
Okay. Is that it?
Now that boring business is out of the way. So a lot of new developments. We've got a new feed. We're changing the format by having The Chart as a separate show. But we're still your same old lame-ass hosts.
That's us.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really have to they're going to know.
Yeah, it's not like it's going to be hard work.
Okay.
Okay, so The Chart is our listener feedback show. And I just pee my pants laughing every week when I read our emails. But before we get into it, I want to make a little correction of something that we said last week.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, Shane did tell Carmen that she loved her. I still don't remember it, and I didn't go back through the old ones, but I believe everybody that emailed us, so.
Yeah, it was at apparently the end of season 2. Shane
Right.
told Carmen that she loved her.
Yep.
And we got a lot of emails of people that wrote in to correct that error. The thing about it was that everybody that wrote in was so nice about it. Thank you, all our nice listeners, for not being assholes about calling us out when we fuck up. Because we pretty much say something that's completely wrong on every podcast. Remember that cartoon He-Man and there was like a little hidden elf that you had to find in the show every week? And then at the end they would show where he was?
No.
That's kind of what the fuck up in our show is like.
Okay.
I really loved He-Man, the animated series, when I was a kid. Had Cringer, the green tiger. Loved that thing.
I remember She-Ra.
Of course you remember She-Ra.
Let's go to the mailbag.
Mail! This is our listener feedback from last week's episode, Lobsters. And a little bit of Light My Fire is in here too. As you remember, Lobster's poll was, what is the most annoying stereotype about your community? And what is the most true stereotype about your community? And our secondary poll was, what's your favorite beer to drink? But that didn't work out so well because most of our listeners don't drink beer. And a lot of them are underage, which made me feel guilty for asking that. I'm not trying to encourage any sort of naughty behavior.
How underage are they?
Like 16.
You tell me that 16-year-olds don't drink beer anymore?
I'm saying that I don't encourage 16-year-olds to drink beer. I don't discourage it either, but... Well, I'll start out with an answer to a bit of an older poll, but it was such a good answer I had to include it. Kathy from the UK answers the fantasy guest star poll with Jennifer Jason Leigh. And she says because Jennifer is friends with Jennifer Beals and Alan Cumming, so she would fit right in.
Yeah, but she's a little too gritty for this show. I mean, in a good way. I love her. I don't know if she really fits in.
Kathy suggested that she could be the new crazy bitch now that Jenny is getting normal. Anyway, that would be really cool. Those three have good chemistry, like in the anniversary party.
Jennifer Beals was in the anniversary party?
Yeah, I remember she was the ex-girlfriend from college that was meddling in the marriage.
That was her?
Yeah.
If you've never seen that movie, it's really good.
Such a good movie.
Next.
Christine answers the stereotype question by saying that since she's straight, she doesn't really have a lesbian stereotype that irks her, but she thinks the worst stereotype presented to heterosexuals is that all lesbians are hot chicks in bikinis on trampolines.
On trampolines?
Like in beer commercials and that sort of thing.
Lesbians?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really get that.
Well, actually, Christine, that's not a stereotype at all. That's absolutely true. We are hot chicks in bikinis, and we're actually recording our podcast from our trampoline right now.
I don't get that. I don't get it. You mean like in porn?
Yeah.
Okay. Straight porn? Nothing grosser than that. Especially like straight porn depicting fake lesbians? Nasty.
I know. How are you going to be a lesbian and have 2-inch long fake nails? Do you see a conflict there? Megan says that her most hated stereotype...
Megan. Sorry, go ahead.
Megan, I have to apologize for Casey's behavior. She has forgotten her medicine today. That was funny. Do it again. Let's both do it.
Megan.
Okay, come on. Oh, okay. Megan's most hated stereotype is that you can tell someone's gay just from looking at them, and that is really stupid, especially now.
Especially since we've seen some of the photos of our listeners.
That's true. We're starting to get pictures of our listeners, and
definitely not your stereotypical bull dykes.
L-word fans are a good-looking demographic.
Yep.
Anyway, and Megan's hated stereotype, a lot of people said things to that effect, like butch femme stereotypes, and we're all manly, hairy, mulleted, burly, Harley chicks. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I dig that, but not all that way anymore.
Not at all.
Okay. Anonymous from Miami says that the most annoying stereotype is lesbian bed death, but unfortunately it's also one of the truest. Sorry,
what
Anonymous.
Is it?
What is what?
What's lesbian bed death? Just like you've been in a relationship and then you don't have sex anymore?
Yeah.
That probably happens in het relationships too, though. Well, not as much.
Yeah, it's called marriage and parenthood.
Lesbian bed death. That's such a gross title for it.
Well, it's a gross phenomenon.
Did she say it was true, or are you saying it?
No, she did. She said that's both the most annoying stereotype and the truest. And that's why she has to watch the L Word to get her
are
fix
you
of...
experiencing it?
I don't kiss and tell, or not kiss and tell.
So that means you are.
I'm not telling.
Well, I know that you and your girlfriend have been together for quite some time.
This is true.
And?
She's hot.
I know that, but I mean, like, have you experienced lesbian bed death? And if so, at what year?
You know what? I don't appreciate being put on the spot like this. I could ask you the same question. What about your girlfriend? I noticed she's gained a little bit of weight lately.
Well,
sorry, Mrs. Casey.
Well, I mean...
Exactly. Let's get back to the listeners and quit talking about ourselves.
Well, what's a little weight? I mean, a little weight is literally a little weight for her. I mean, she weighs like 100 pounds.
Go to the gym together, so I know.
Well, you need to start going more with her.
I would if she weren't busy cooking you dinner every night.
I actually like it better when she's about 2 pounds less than she is now.
Is she going to be mad when she hears this?
She doesn't listen.
I don't believe that.
Well,
I'm going to ask her.
Okay.
Anyways.
Tangent.
Chantel says, the dumbest stereotype is that bisexuals and lesbians are attracted to every damn woman they see. She says, and I quote, "In the locker room, I respect your privacy just like anyone else. Unless you're totally freaking hot, in which case you have nobody to blame but yourself." One of our listeners wrote in, not to answer the stereotype, but to tell us that she loves the L Word so much that she got all her family and friends to start watching, and that actually caused her mother to come out to her.
Like she didn't know that her mom was gay before, or she knew but she didn't admit it?
I didn't pry, but she said that watching the L Word together triggered her mom to come out to her.
That's weird.
That's awesome. This television show
awesome.
has caused the world to be a better place.
Okay.
Dee-dee-dee-dee.
I meant, when I said that's weird, I'm trying to picture a family watching the L Word together. It's not exactly a family show, not because there are gay people on it, but just because they're all like sleeping around and swearing. And
My dad listens to our podcast.
he does?
Yeah. Hi, Pop.
I didn't know that. I have to edit myself now.
Oh, please. The dog's playing with a squeaky toy.
I can't believe your dad listens to this, for real. Are you serious?
I swear to God.
That's kind of fucked up.
My family's rather untraditional. Okay, I want you to chew on the middle where it's not squeaky, okay? The Planet Podcast with Elka, Casey,
I licked my microphone.
and Lewis.
God, now it smells like dog.
We're starting, like I said before, could you do the podcast and not make out with the dog?
He's looking at me.
He is really, really cute.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay, so like I said last podcast, we're starting to pick up some international listeners. We got our first listener feedback.
Yeah.
From Poland.
Okay.
From Barbara in Poland.
Wait, is this our first email from internationally?
No, this is our first email from Poland. Our first international listener was German, I think.
Okay.
But, you know what? We should try and represent, like, every continent. Because right now we have North America, South America, Australia. Barbara from Poland writes in to comment about what the hell's going on with Tina, which is something we've been talking about a lot because it's fucking crazy. Okay, so...
Who?
Tina? Remember the L Word?
Tina Yothers?
Tina Kennard. Which is weird because on the GRE vocabulary test, canard means lie.
L-I-E?
Yeah, like as in fib, be dishonest, not tell the truth.
Don't canard me. Wait, is it a vowel?
It's a noun.
Okay.
Is it a vowel?
Like
A-E-I-O-U?
I mean a verb.
Barbara says, "Hello, ladies. Sorry for my English, but I'm a Polish girl. Anyway, I hope you'll understand what I'm writing." And her English is great, so no worries, Barbara. I'm one of those poor losers who loves Tina. Yeah, really I am. Actually, when I was watching the last episode and I saw Tina rolling her eyes for like the 1,000th time, there was only one question in my head. Why do you pee on people?
What?
I love this so much, Barbara.
What are you talking about?
I think I asked actually one of the people that I work with who's from that area what if there was like an analogous slang.
Oh, so it's a language thing?
I think so, and he said it's like saying, why do you shit on people?
Oh.
So
that
sounds
funny.
so like to say quit shitting on people is so like gross and vulgar. But I love this so much, like, why do you pee on people? Because that's just what she's doing, but you don't have to sound so crass saying it.
Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining.
Okay, I won't.
Okay, read the rest.
But I was wondering, WTF is going on? She really has a good command of American slang for being a Polish girl.
Internet slang.
Yeah, that's true. I thought that at the end of last season, Tina wanted to move back with Bet and try to make things work, and she really meant it. So now why do they look like a couple who's already decided to divorce?
You have to get married first.
And then she says something which I totally agree with. Sometimes I really think the writers of the show are cruel. Absolutely.
You agree with that?
Yes, they're like torturing me. Like every time I see Bet and Tina, it just like rips my heart out.
It's tough. That whole situation's tough. Like, I think they're probably going to break up now. Of course, you're going to give it, 20 chances before you finally break up with the person because you've been with them forever. They have a kid, a house, this whole life together. So, I mean, they're not just going to throw the towel in and walk away. I mean, it appears that they're going to finally now, but...
You're right. Absolutely. But what Barbara and I are saying is, like, we want them to stay together.
No.
Don't break up, Ben and Tina. All right, maybe that was a little bit over the top. Barbara says, anyway, I love Tina. This is love from first sight. I couldn't help it even if I wanted. I also have to say that I will love her even if she goes back to Dick. But God, please don't let it happen. It would be love full of pain and suffering. I think Tina is so hot, and you have to admit that she looks really good this season.
No, I don't admit that at all.
If you want a reason why I like her, fuck. Is it always rational when you fall in love?
Wow.
Barbara. I know, Barbara is passionate about the L word.
She's passionate about Tina.
I love that. Thank you so much for writing, Barbara. Colleen asks, am I the only one who thinks Billy is annoying?
Yes.
Yes. Next.
No, I mean...
That's all I have to say.
Well, I really like him, obviously, but a lot of people who've actually met him or like people who live in New York and see him around say that he's a real dick.
Yeah, everyone who knows him thinks he's a complete asshole.
But I love him anyway.
I like him too.
I like assholes.
We'll just avoid meeting him, and that way we can keep liking him.
We live in New Mexico, so we can love him from afar.
We have about 8 Julies that watch the show. So, Julie number A says they should ditch Betty and just have Mangus sing the opening credits. And they'll just show all the people and it'll be like, hello, Miss Beals. So glad to see you. You don't want to sing? Mm-mm. Okay.
But that's a good idea.
I know, it would be awesome because that song is so gets stuck in your head.
Which one? The opening credits
No, not the way that we live. No, the hello, so glad to see you song. It's in my head all the time now. I just walk around singing that in my head.
Oh my God.
Back to the stereotype poll. Ash says, we do not all use strap-ons.
We don't?
No! Just kidding. Renee says, being a feminist doesn't automatically make me a lesbian. Good point. Emily from Arizona writes in, all right, this I think is the funniest email we got last week, but Emily writes in to say, my least favorite stereotype is the Indigo Girls as a whole. She says, I'm a dyke and I hate them.
Oh, God. Right on. I hate them too.
Me too. Every time they're played, all I can think of is mullet dykes dancing at commitment ceremonies.
Oh, so true.
And then Emily says, as if that's not bad enough, Emily says, I hope Dana gets cancer. Don't say I'm horrible. She's a fictional character and she's lame.
That's awesome. Who's this person?
Emily from Arizona, and she's on our Frapper map. Her picture says book nerd, and she's wearing an Argyle sweater. The girl is adorable.
That's awesome.
Let's see. Oh, we got so many good ones. Okay. She cracked me up. Lindsay sent an email, and she put a link to her homepage on it, so I checked it out. And Lindsay is a fiction writer, and this is so shockingly rare to find on the internet. Lindsay is a talented fiction writer. I read some of her stories and they were really good. So I encourage you to check out her website if you're interested in short stories. It's dreamaloftydream.com. I highly recommend the short story Hiding Dakota. I don't want to give away anything about the plot, but I really, really liked that story. So check it out, dreamaloftydream.com.
Okay, hold on, I'm checking it. Dreamaloftydream.
I didn't mean right this second. We got to do the podcast.
Wait, I want to see it.
Yeah, I didn't read them all, but Hiding Dakota, I really liked it. This girl's going to get published.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
She's really good. So
dedicate one of our books to us.
Yeah. Dedicate your first book to us, Lindsay. Keep us informed when you put new fiction up there, because I really liked it. Thanks, Lindsay. What are you doing?
Well, I was going to say to Lindsay, Lindsay's a good writer. You should check out the L Word Showtime page because they have a contest going right now called the L Word Fanisode. And it says the L Word Fan Fiction Contest. Register by February 3rd. Ooh, that's today, isn't it?
Never mind.
No, I think they might be doing it more than once, though. For a chance to win a $2,000 shopping spree at Saks.com and other prizes. I think you write a scene or something.
That would be pretty sweet if one of our listeners won that contest.
But if you win, you have to spend at least 50 cents from Saks.com on us.
50 cents? Can't even get a Saks keychain. Becky from Hawaii, she wrote in and kind of mentioned something that I didn't snap to the first time I saw the show. She's like, what's Biff Naked doing at Billy's apartment?
Who's Biff Naked?
She's that singer. She was not really that popular, but she was around in like the mid-90s. And she was the girl at that party at Billy's house that was with Tom, the transgendered person.
Yeah.
Are you transgendered after you have the surgery, or is it a different word?
I don't know.
Anyway, Tom, the lesbian man.
I'm sure somebody's going to email us and tell us now, though.
That guy, Tom, who was at Billy's party, was there with a girl that had long black hair and she was all tattooed all over. And that was Biff Naked. Now, the connection here is, if you'll remember on the Fantasy L-Word guest star poll, the majority of our listeners, including myself, said that they would like to see a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fantasy guest star. Mm-hmm. Well, it may not have been Allison Hannigan, but as you fanboys and fangirls may remember, Biff Naked was also a guest star on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I guess in a weird, twisted way, we got our wish. Next time we'll have to be a little bit more specific. Hampton is an L-Word fan. He watches with his lesbian and bisexual friends, but he gets bored and talks through the sex scenes.
What sex scenes?
On the L-Word.
There haven't been any.
Well, I mean, like, when there are some, like last season. Man, Hampton, if you tried to pull that shit around us, I would cut you.
What, he's gay?
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder. That's funny.
Ray writes in to suggest, instead of girlfriend or domestic partner, the term inamorata.
Italian?
Yeah. Which, it sounds pretty sexy. I could see maybe Marina whispering it into your ear, but I don't know how it would work at Thanksgiving dinner. Mary from New York City says that the worst stereotype is that lesbians are all alcoholics.
New York City!
But she also adds, quote, but as I write this, I am hung over. Okay. Way to represent, Mary. Giving a bad name to lesbians everywhere. Hunk Hogan says, the stereotype, actually it's just Hogan. I added the hunk. Hogan says, not all female wrestlers are dykes. Well, I am.
What is with these people? Like I don't like the stereotype of mullets, but I got one today.
She says, we're an exclusive club on the wrestling scene. Not just anyone can be a lesbian wrestler. But let me tell you, I personally would like to give it a try.
Oh, yeah.
Not professionally.
Oh.
Just, in my living room.
Is she a professional wrestler?
I think she's in high school.
Oh, that kind of wrestling. Not like, Wendy Richter and what's her name? Moolah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, she didn't really say. But I assumed she was in high school. Maybe she's in the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Or not. It's the Winter Olympics.
What? Maybe she's in the Olympics?
I'm obsessed with the Olympics. You know I am.
I know.
That's
why we need more international listeners so we
should bet. We should have the gay Olympics. There are, like 40,000 Olympic competitors and like
there
2 of them
gay
are
Olympics.
Out. They're all closeted. No, I mean, I know there's a separate Olympics for the homos, but the regular Olympics probably are full of homos too. I mean,
ice skating.
Figure skating, hello.
And what's the dyke sport?
Shot put? The dyke sport?
Isn't there like women's hockey now?
I don't know if that's Olympic or not.
Hockey is. I don't know if there's a women's
I
hockey.
know. Regular hockey is.
Soccer.
Table tennis. That is really gay. I just say that because I like table tennis, so it must be gay.
Field hockey. That was the gay
that's
sport.
The gayest sport ever.
Well, there were straight girls, though, doing it when I played.
Yeah, but they're dykey straight girls. They're like that girl in But I'm a Cheerleader that's like, wait, I'm a heterosexual. I just like sports. I'll just do a quick little recap since I didn't read everybody's. The most popular hated stereotypes were that all we need is a good deep dickin'. Very hated. That we want every girl we see. Totally untrue. Another negative stereotype that we got was that Asians are bad drivers.
What?
I don't know. It's like we got all this gay stuff and sexuality stuff. And then these people wrote in like, that stereotype that Asians are bad drivers are all true. And they'd be
true?
Like, that's what people said. And I have never heard this. and they're like, and I'm Asian, I know.
Well, I'm a bad driver. Maybe I have some Asian blood in me then.
Good to know. I wasn't aware of that, but apparently a lot of our listeners believe that stereotype. The stereotypes that people identify with the most or think have the more of a grain of truth are that lesbians are strong, smart, independent women, which we are, and that we're all animal lovers and kind to animals. All except for Casey, the cat hater.
I'm strong.
Yeah, but you're not an animal lover.
I'm independent. You're not strong. Want to arm wrestle?
No, you'd whoop me.
Whoop.
I'm strong. I battled an ostrich.
You battled.
That's one of my proudest moments. I'm telling you, if you can stare down a ostrich, you can do anything.
I once fought off a wild Wheaten Terrier.
The last word on the poll I'm giving to Femerose, and she says, I have no favorite stereotype because, quote, the lesbian community is so diverse, the only thread of commonality is our sexual orientation. Stereotypes and labels just help people make sense of an otherwise chaotic world.
That's true, but that doesn't stop stereotypes from existing.
Or from amusing us.
But that's very true.
Thank you so much to everyone who wrote in and answered the poll and gave me a laugh while I was messing around at work instead of doing my job.
Especially Megan. Megan.
Another new development this week. We've actually spent a lot of time this week working on the podcast, even though you may not know it from listening.
Yeah, because everybody keeps emailing like, hurry up, put the next one up. It takes a while to do it.
But not only that, we've been working a lot on getting our mic control and sound editing down. And
we had to change feeds. That was a pain in the ass.
Updating the website. So we really have been doing a lot of work on this podcast, trying to make it a better experience for you. And one of the things that we did this week was to add a Frapper map, which if you don't know, it's just this website where you sign up and people can stick a pin in your map so that you know where your listeners are. So it's really a cool service, but when you sign up for it, there's a little button you press if you want to invite other people that are on Frapper. And I kind of pressed the wrong button and like invited everybody on my email list. So if I spammed you, I'm really sorry, and I promise I'll never do it again. I felt like such an asshole. I'm really sorry. I won't send you crap like that anymore. Don't be afraid to email me.
Well, what did you send them?
Just an invitation to stick a pin in our map.
Yeah, that's no big deal.
It's not that bad. But anyway,
it's not like you're trying to make their penises grow.
There's a... What? Yes, I am.
You know those spams you get for Viagra.
Oh, yeah. Penis enlargement. Anyway, if you want to stick a pin in our world map, which is actually cooler than I thought it would be, just go to our homepage at theplanetcast.blogspot.com, and there's a link that says stick a pin in our map. You can click on that and you can see the map.
Or you could click on the link that says stick a pin in our butt.
Yeah, but that one, the state lines are a little blurry.
You mean legally?
Yeah. What's cool is that on that Frapper site, a lot of our listeners have put pictures of themselves up, and like every damn one of them is cute.
Sexy mamas.
Well, some of them are a little bit too young to be sexy mamas, and some of them are sexy papas. Like Aaron, he's adorable. So cute. If you were only a little bit older, Aaron. Yeah, every person who posted a picture of him or herself is like really good looking. We have like awesome listeners.
It's like an Abercrombie and Fitch catalog.
Kind of. Yeah, everyone in that catalog is gay too. No, I say that, but about half of our listeners are straight, so.
Really?
Yeah, about half the emails we get are from straight people, boys and girls. And we get, fags and dykes and femmes and butches, so sometimes we talk like we think our audience is all dykes, but we don't mean to be exclusive. You hets are okay too.
I don't mind being exclusive.
It's a rainbow family. I noticed one of the pins in our map is Charlie from Manchester, England. I didn't know that you could get the internet on that computer down in the hatch.
Do you think it's a joke?
It must be.
Manchester's a pretty big city, though.
Yeah, but Charlie from Manchester.
There's got to be a Charlie there. You think it's a joke because you said something about Lost?
Yeah. Well, Charlie, good luck on getting off that island, and just give Claire some space. She'll be fine, but watch out for Locke. Oh, and one of our listeners, Mark from the Remarkable Palette podcast, is a chef. In the map, you can kind of choose a color-coded pin, and Frapper wants you to do like blue for boy and red for girl. So I added some extra ones. I added label-free and pansexual. And Mark, the chef, said that he's a frying pansexual. Anyway, we have to give a shout out to Mark from the Remarkable Palette podcast this week because he's really helped us out in figuring out this whole podcasting thing. If you have any interest in cooking or if you're a foodie, you should definitely check out Remarkable Palette podcast. And also, if you are pregnant or you're planning to become pregnant, definitely listen to his podcast on fish and pregnancy. This week, instead of doing a listener poll, we're going to do something special. A lot of people think that the L word is lesbian, but in reality, L is for love.
How do you know?
I heard it on an interview somewhere, I think.
With who?
With one of the show's creators. I think it was Eileen. In honor of the love word, we are going to do a special Valentine's Day edition of the chart. So instead of us asking a poll question for our Valentine's Day special chart, I want you to write in. You can write in to send a special message to someone. You can write a love letter to a character on the show or one of the actors on the show.
That girl who's obsessed with Tina.
Yeah. You can write a love letter to your cat, or you can write us a Valentine's Day haiku. So give us your special messages for us to read on the Valentine's Day edition of the chart. We're going to burn some scented candles, put a red scarf over the lamps, play some... What do you play for a seduction scene, Casey?
Personally?
Mm-hmm. If you say Moby, I'm going to throw up.
Oh, yeah. No, but that's what I wake up to in the morning in my alarm clock. The CD in my alarm clock's Moby, because it's like soothes you into the day. I play Etta James.
I play Ministry.
What do you really?
Weird Al.
What's that guy's name with the super low voice? He's like, hey.
It's Barry White.
You think that's sexy?
No.
What do you think's sexy?
The Indigo Girls.
Jazz?
No, I hate jazz.
I like jazz.
Radiohead.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Anything to do with Valentine's Day and love and relationships and shipping and loving and hearts and flowers and birds and bees, all that crap. Whatever you have to say about it, send it into the chart. All right, we're going to end the show with some audio messages from our listeners.
Well, wait. Before we do that,
yes,
I just want to remind everyone.
Oh, yeah.
That unless you switch to our new podcast, you're not going to hear the show anymore. So make sure you keep checking the other one or just subscribe to the other one.
Yeah, and I mean, it couldn't be much easier. If you're listening to us now, you can find the new one and subscribe.
Yeah.
We should just make it really hard for people to listen to our show. Like, you have to have a password and you have to complete a maze.
No, mail us $5 and we'll send it to you on a CD.
No, a cassette tape.
No, but I mean, you just go to iTunes, search L word, and there's going to be 2 Planet.
Gray background, pink L equals old crappy podcast. Picture of the earth with a pink L equals new, shiny, sparkling, gay-tastic podcast.
Right. It's not that big of a deal, really, but if you don't do it, then you're not going to get our new shows. So I guess it is a big deal. It's huge.
It's the biggest thing to happen since Brokeback Mountain.
It's the hugest announcement. Because we were like, we have a huge secret announcement, and this is what it is.
I know, it's totally just
What's
like...
What's our real announcement? Free chocolate for everyone.
Offer expires February 3rd. All right, we're going to play you out with some of our audio messages, and we will talk to you on Tuesday after we have seen the next episode, which is called Lumpy Boobs.
Hi, this is Dee Dee from Northern Virginia. My most annoying stereotypes are that lesbians don't know how to dress, although I'm not the snazziest dresser myself, and that we're cheap. My fantasy guest stars on the L Word would be Persia White from Girlfriends and Rosalind Sanchez from Without a Trace. Thanks for the show. Bye.
Hi, Elka and Casey. This is Chef Mark from the Remarkable Pals podcast in New York City. And I just saw the latest episode and wanted to call in and give my comments. I really liked the episode. I thought that they were bringing together a lot of the great elements that they've laid down in the last several episodes. Particularly for me, the storyline with Moira is really getting interesting. And her going to that party was really cool. I like that. And for me, it sort of adds to the allure of what seems to be a big theme this season, which is that sexuality isn't black and white, and these girls are sort of exploring that, some more than others, obviously. We see from the previews that it looks like Tina is really sort of going into that exploration a little bit more herself. Anyway, I just wanted to comment on something from the last episode and from your last podcast about lobsters. And I know you mentioned in the show that, there's one listener who's a chef and could probably answer the question. Well, I never heard about the difference between male and female lobsters in such a way before. And I actually did some research on the internet, and I couldn't find any specific reference to verify or disprove the story that Moira told. But you got to admit, it makes for some intriguing TV, and the way she told it was very, very exciting. So anyway, that's my comment on this week's episode. I really like your podcast, so keep up the good work, and listen to the L Word. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I was listening to your podcast on my way to work this morning, and I think that your writer that wrote in and said that Tina rolls her eyes because she's tired of living in Calcutta is completely correct. Also, I think the stereotype, well, my favorite kind of beer is, Bud. And I think my favorite stereotype is that all lesbians move in with one another after the second date. That's my comment. All right, later.
Hello, ladies. Where is this week's podcast? I came home from work and was so ready to listen to it, and it's not up yet. Get with the program. You guys do a great job, and I love it, so hurry up and put it up. Thank you. This is Carolina from Portland, Oregon.
Hello, my name is Elka. I live in Fontana, California, a long-ass way from New Mexico. Just going to say what's up. I love you guys' podcast, especially because I don't have Showtime, and I can't watch the L Word right now. So with you guys' update, I am basically getting everything in my head. Of course, I saw a picture of Matt, and yeah, he's not my type. So thank you very much, and keep it up, because it's going great. Have a good day. Bye.
Bacon!
Peanut.
Megan.
Butter.